pop star, American Idol judge, space traveler? Yes, Katy Perry just went full Star Trek. But what if I told you her spiritual space mission might have been less about female empowerment and more about elite branding, billionaire, rituals, and high-altitude brainwashing? Let's unpack the space trip that's got the internet asking, what even is real anymore? On April 14, 2025, Katy Perry joined Blue Origin's NS-31 rocket flight, a suborbital trip lasting 11 minutes. 11 minutes. That's barely a shower. But this trip was historic. It was the first all-female crew since 1963, and it included journalist Lauren Sanchez, CBS host Gayle King, scientist Aisha Bowe, activist Amanda Nguyen, and film producer Carrie Ann Flynn. Sounds empowering, right? A giant leap for womankind, except we're not talking about astronauts. We're talking about billionaires' besties floating for TikTok clips. After landing, Katy said she felt super connected to love. Okay, girl, same, but usually after therapy, not zero gravity. Luke Bryan, her former Idol co-judge, immediately asked if the crew had taken mushrooms. Honestly, fair question. Because that love quote felt more Coachella than Cosmos. Cue the TikToks dissecting her tone, the PR buzzwords, the we are one with the universe energy. Are we watching a space flight or a Gwyneth Paltrow goop launch in orbit? And the symbolism, the white suits, the all-female cast, the carefully curated Instagram posts. It felt more like a campaign rollout than a mission. Some praised the flight as a win for women in STEM. Others called it feminist cosplay, an 11-minute float fest with zero scientific merit. Twitter, X, lit up with hot takes. This is just the Met Gala with zero gravity. This is what happens when billionaires get bored. Next year, they'll drop a skincare line called Out of This World. And let's not forget the memes. Perry floating in space. So, what's really going on? Blue Origin is Jeff Bezos's pet project. And what better way to keep it in the headlines than sending your fiancé, her celebrity BFFs, and Katy Perry up there? This wasn't about science. It was about symbolism, optics, PR. Bezos isn't racing Musk to Mars for the sake of humanity. He's building the Billionaire Space Club, and celebrities are the front-facing influencers of that mission. And now, by sending a carefully chosen group of women, activists, journalists, and pop stars, he gets the headline. First, all-female flight since the 60s. No one mentions that this crew didn't do anything scientific. They floated, they smiled, they took pics. And boom. Headlines. Let's talk influence. Katy Perry going to space might inspire someone. Maybe. But it also reinforces that this level of adventure is only available to the ultra-connected. The girl bossification of space travel doesn't make it accessible. It just turns it into another red carpet. This time, 60 miles above Earth. We've entered the era of spacefluencers. Think about it. Elon Musk launches Teslas into orbit. Bezos sends celebs for love energy. Next, we'll have space-themed makeup lines. Zero G Glow by Ariana Grande. This isn't democratizing space, it's commodifying it. So what do we make of all this? Katy Perry floated in space for 11 minutes and came back talking about love and stars aligning. Sweet. But let's not confuse access to a rocket with actual exploration. Space used to be about discovery, survival, and science. Now it's about vibes, branding, and billionaire clout. This mission was marketed as progress, but it smelled a lot like distraction. From climate issues, from inequality, from the fact that we're turning space into a stage. But hey, maybe I'm just salty, because I didn't get an invite. If Jeff wants to send me up next, I'll bring a mic, a ring light, and enough Wi-Fi to live stream the truth. Until then, stay grounded, think critically, and remember, just because it's in space doesn't mean it's deep. And look, No shade to Katy Perry as a person. She's talented, iconic, and has served unforgettable pop culture moments. But this wasn't roar. This was float. There's a difference between making history and making headlines. The media keeps calling it historic, but you know what's actually historic? Women astronauts like Sally Ride, Kalpana Chawla, and Christina Koch, who didn't just visit space, they worked there. They ran experiments. They risked their lives. Katy Perry, she floated, smiled, and gave us a post-flight TED Talk about love. And while some fans are calling it a new era of empowered female space travel, others are saying it's just feminism filtered through Instagram aesthetics. When corporate billionaires are the ones choosing who gets to represent women in space, is it still empowerment? Or is it just another form of branding, this time with helmets? Let's not pretend this flight didn't come with a hefty price tag either. Sure, Blue Origin hasn't released how much this trip cost Katy or who sponsored whom, but we do know these joyrides are worth millions. It's giving exclusive club, not for the people. It's giving I'm with Bezos, not I'm breaking boundaries. What's even more wild is how fast this trip was romanticized. News outlets didn't even wait for the rocket to land before posting headlines like Katy Perry makes space beautiful again. Girl, what? We were just debating healthcare costs last week, and now we're celebrating zero-gravity selfies like they're Nobel Prizes? And let's talk about the aesthetics. Because let's be real, this whole thing was curated. The white spacesuits, the gentle floating in slow motion, the perfectly lit capsule shots. This was not a mission. This was a marketing shoot. If you told me this was a teaser for her next album, Gravity and Glam, I'd believe you. But here's the real kicker. This isn't even Katy's first brush with space. She's been manifesting this for years, tweeting Elon Musk about getting a seat on SpaceX, performing on futuristic stages, and now she finally gets launched, but through Jeff Bezos. Talk about switching space teams mid-orbit. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the rest of us are dealing with inflation, rent, and whether we can afford oat milk this week. But sure, tell us more about love vibrations from space, Katy. We're so inspired while checking our bank app for overdraft fees. And this isn't just about Katy. It's about a growing trend. Celebrities are becoming the new astronauts, not because they're trained, but because they're trending. If this continues, space will be less about discovery and more about influencer deals. First stop, Blue Origin. Next stop, sponsored posts from Mars. So ask yourself, what happens when billionaires own the narrative of space? When media platforms, rockets, and celebrity faces are all part of the same machine? It stops being a shared human dream and starts looking like a VIP lounge in the stratosphere. In a world where the ultra-rich are already escaping climate problems by building bunkers and private islands, space tourism feels less like progress and more like Plan B. But hey, at least it looked cute on Instagram, right? So, what did we actually witness here? Was it a moment of cosmic empowerment or a PR masterclass wrapped in glitter and low gravity? Was it a step forward for humanity? Or just another step up the ladder for the already sky-high elite? Whatever it was, it got people talking. It made headlines. And it reminded us just how easy it is to sell inspiration when you're literally above the rest of us. And honestly, if I ever get on a rocket, I won't be coming back with a love speech. I'll be coming back with answers, and probably a full-blown documentary exposing who's building condos on the moon. Until then, I'm staying grounded, and I hope you do too.